Hi, today we're going to do a quick tutorial on Gale, one of the subscribed databases we have here in the district. The first place to go, like most, is to our Valley View Learning Commons webpage. From there, you can just go to Destiny, our library catalog. Now, again, if you haven't used Destiny very much, your view is going to be a little more simple. Mine has a little bit more because I'm logged in as myself. You do not have to be logged in to use this at all. So here's our basic search page. If you wanted to find any of the resources we have in the school, whether by keyword, title, author, subject, or even by series, you can look them up there. We want to go to the visual tab though, because that's where we have our databases at the moment. These are the databases that we pay for either as a district or as a school that you are able to access. Most of these here you and the students can access. There are a couple that are for teachers only, such as Teens 101, and a lot of what's on Learn 360, such as the lesson plans, you might not want to necessarily have students seeing without you being around. We're going to go to Gale Resources today. Within Gale, there are some great subdivisions, and we have 4 of them up here. Well, really 3 of them, and there are a couple more. So science and context is one of my favorites. There's a lot of great information there. Global issues and context is also excellent, and the same with Canada in context. If you want to have students do a debate, both of these are great. I'm going to start with global issues and context. Now, how global issues works is very similar to how science and context works too. So for today, I thought we would start with a very topical search. And so I'm going to look up the Hong Kong protest and see what comes up. Okay, so right away, we have all kinds of stuff. We have 4,489 viewpoints, 5 primary sources, over 5,000 magazines, lots of news articles, images, and videos. All of those are great if you want to get students started in just understanding what was going on with the Hong Kong protests, or whatever you choose. Now, this is also a lot of information for students, so you can do several things. You can change the date that it's published from. So maybe you want it quite recent. So let's say from August 2019 to now. I'm just going to say November 2019. Oh, actually, it's being a little glitchy today with the Wi-Fi. So I've changed it to the last month. So right away, that narrows things down considerably. There are 83 viewpoints, 26 audio clips, and so on. You can also change the Lexile measure, and this is about how complicated it's going to be for students to read. And really, these 2 right here, this is about a grade 5 reading level. This is about a grade 6 reading level. So, you might want something in this range here for your students, depending on how well they're doing with their literacy. And you might want it lower if you have students who struggle. And then you would just hit apply. I'm going to just leave that for now. And I'm going to go to the viewpoints. So here we go. We've got our 83 viewpoints, and I'm not going to bother to show all of them to you. But let's see. Let's go with the New York Times. So here's the New York Times. And while you're in this document, there are a few things you should know, and it does work in many ways very similarly to Britannica. So it will cite the article for you. You can send it to, so you can email it to people, you can download it, you can print it, you can get the link for it, and you can also add your own highlights and notes, which is really helpful if you wanted to highlight the parts you want students to keep in mind. and then get the link for it that way. You can also translate it. Now, this feature was a little glitchy earlier just because of our internet connection, but it does translate in many different languages, just like Britannica does. You can change the font size and you can listen to it. The audio speaking portion of it is not great, but it's better than nothing. From here, we have some short links, so you can add it right to your Google Drive or OneCloud if you're using Microsoft products. So here we go. Here's our little article, and the citation at the bottom. So if you wanted the MLA citation, great. There you go. Just copy and paste. So that's one way you could do it. But if you have a topic that maybe is a little broader, instead of specifically choosing one of these, you might just go to Gale Resources. And from here, what I would suggest is that, so we have Canada in Context, Global Issues, National Geographic Kids, which is more elementary in science. Use the power search. So in this case, I've done a power search, and what it will do is it will look at all of those subcategories and show you all the results combined. So I did that already for the Hong Kong riot. And this is what I get, which is a lot more robust, has a lot more stuff in there. And it's probably from Canada in Context and Global Issues in Context more than the science. But if you had something you were researching like ethics with DNA, then you would that would hit on all of those. So another interesting feature that you can use is if you scroll down, and depending on your topic, you might have to scroll farther, but it's the topic finder. And this is a great way to help your students narrow their search so that they can find better, more focused questions. So what this topic finder does is it takes your topic and it breaks it down, in this case, into these different tiles. I really like the tiles because their size indicates how many other subcategories there might be. So in this case, we've got women's health, Hong Kong anti-extradition bill protests, which is really what those protests are about. People, political unrest, unrest in Hong Kong, monetary authority, as well as a lot of other little things. So this is the tile version. They also have a wheel, and really it depends on what works best for you or for your students. So here you see what all those subcategories are as well. But I like the tiles, so I'm going to go back there. Now, if you are interested in one, so I might go here. I want to see what those subcategories are, and it shows me what they are. If I want to go back to that bigger one, I can either just click on a different part. Sometimes it takes a little bit to go back to the whole thing. So come on. Or let's say I click on political science here a couple times. Eventually it just takes you back to the whole thing. But I'm going to go back here to this one. And let's look at Chinese foreign relations. This is definitely something we could probably relate to or we've heard about. So then under this one, you can see that there are 3 articles. And so you could go to the articles from here. That is, in a nutshell, how you use Gale and Gale Power Search. And hope you enjoy.